Let me preface this build just right up front. I do not recommend using this for a full campaign. This is like a 1 to 3 shot kind of a thing that you're going in and you're going to play with like a buddy because you need a teammate for this one. But I think it's a super fun one. I think it's just a weird kind of rules as written workaround. And I think that you guys are going to enjoy that. I'm going to build this character live kind of on this video, and we'll go through and talk about some of the decisions I'm making and what the end result of this process is. This build comes online at level 2. We'll work all the way up to 20. So anytime you're doing a one-shot that starts at level 2 or higher, this is a fun and stupid option. Let's check it out. So I'm going to do this in the Roll20 Charactermancer. We're going to build it a little bit out of the order that they recommend. I'm going to do it in the way that I like to build characters because that's just how my brain works. But if this is something that you're interested in, check out our Discord. It is pretty much brand new. It's an opportunity to have direct access to me, some of the other members of the community. You can pitch ideas, ask build requests, all those different things. It is a direct line to me if you have questions, comments, or ideas that you want to see turned into reality. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the Charactermancer on this one. So realistically, your race can be whatever you want on this one. Just for convenience sake, I'm going to go ahead and put it under a half-elf, and we are going to use the customize our origin situation. If you want to use something else, that's totally fine. It really isn't going to make much of a difference. We are going to take our points and we are going to focus both on wisdom and charisma. And because this is going to be kind of a cleric-based situation, you can't really go wrong with Constitution for those Constitution saving throws. Alignment really doesn't matter. Skill proficiencies, again, really doesn't matter. Whatever you think is going to be interesting is going to be totally fine for this. And again, language does not matter. For our starting class, we're going to start off with a Sorcerer. I was torn whether or not I would build this as a Sorcerer base or a Wizard base, because realistically we need a spell that is on those two spell lists. I ultimately ended up going Sorcerer for 2 reasons. One, you're going to start off with Constitution saving throw proficiency, which is going to be really good as a Cleric once you get your Spirit Guardians up down the line. But also because Sorcerers get their subclass at first level, which means we're going to be able to pick, something that's going to bolster all of our situations in terms of, if we picked a race without dark vision, you can go Shadow Sorcerer. If you want to focus on the cleric-y things, you can go Divine Soul. If you want to go with like kind of a draconic idea of this, you can go with the Draconic Bloodline. There's all lots of different, if you want to go wacky, you can go Wild Magic. Like, whatever you want to pick, the Sorcerer as a level 1 start is a really good spot for us. So that's why we're going to go, again, with whatever skills you want. It doesn't matter. And you can really go also with whatever subclass you want. Like I said, if you picked a race that does not get dark vision, Shadow Magic is a great choice. If you want to just do wacky stuff with this build, like I said, it's kind of like a one-shot kind of a thing. Roll on that Wild Magic Surge table. It's a good time. If you want to stick with the Celestial Divine Soul options, that's totally fine. Like I said, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to pick Divine Soul for this. And again, it does not matter what we pick. So, let's take the chaos. For our ability score method, if you want to roll, that's fine. If you want to do point buy, that's totally fine. I'm going to do this with the standard array. Now, because this is going to be a very cleric-y based thing, we are going to want to focus mostly on wisdom. We already put 1 additional point into our charisma. So we can afford to put our 12 in charisma. We can put our 13 in constitution. We'll need strength, and then dexterity, we're going to do a 14 just for the medium armor. It's going to cap out our half plate or breastplate or whatever medium armor you're going to use. And that gives us a 10 in intelligence. That's fine. So this is ultimately what your scores are going to look like before you kind of level up anything. I think this is fine. You need a 13 in both charisma and wisdom in order to multi-class out of Sorcerer and into Cleric. So that's why we're definitely focusing on getting a 13 in our charisma here. Background, doesn't matter. Pick whatever you want. We're gonna be a sailor for this one, I guess. All of your personality, doesn't matter. That's good. Starting equipment, Honestly, I think that you're probably better off going with starting gold, but it is easier to go with class equipment. So you can go ahead and take, your quarterstaff, which can be used as an arcane focus. You can get an arcane focus, whatever pack you want, all of that stuff. Really doesn't matter. For our spells, we are going to be focusing right here on Magic Missile. That is the only non-negotiable in this entire build, is that you have to pick up Magic Missile from the Sorcerer spell list. After that, it does not matter. We'll grab Shield for a little convenience here for our cantrips. Again, doesn't matter. We'll throw on Firebolt. We'll throw on Guidance. That's a great one. We'll throw on Mage Hand, and we'll throw on Control Flames. Sure. Again, it doesn't matter. And that is realistically our level 1 character. He's going to be the Bully Cleric. We're a half-elf. Great. Now, once we get to level 2, that is going to be where this build actually takes place. So, we're going to level up to level 2. We will not be taking any more Sorcerer. We are going to multiclass into Cleric. And for our Cleric, we are going to take the Divine Domain of... where is it? The Order Domain. Because we want this right here, the Voice of Authority. So this entire build is based on the concept of basically abusing this ability right here. You can invoke the power of law to embolden an ally to attack. If you cast a spell with a spell slot of first level or higher and target an ally with the spell, that ally can use their reaction immediately after the spell to make one weapon attack against a creature of your choice that you can see. If the spell targets more than one ally, you choose which one. So, the, observant among you are going to see what nonsense this build is built around. But let's go ahead, go through. We are going to get medium armor, which is going to let us use our 14 dex here to kind of get a decent AC. We'll have shields, which will 2 more AC if you want to just do a shield and an arcane focus. That's actually like kind of a cool way to build this. You get all of the, fun cleric stuff, skills, whatever. It doesn't really matter. This one, you can actually go heavy armor. We're not going to have the strength to use it. Dexterity is just a better stat anyway. And cleric spells. Well, we get all kinds of fun cleric spells. Let's grab Spare the Dying. Let's grab Toll the Dead. Mending, sure. And then for first level spells, this is really whatever you want. Healing Word is always a good one. It's going to give you a bonus option to heal people. Guiding Bolt is a good ranged option. Command is a fun one. Whatever you really want to grab here, it doesn't matter. Let's grab Bless. That's a fun one too. And now our build is fully online. So what we are looking at doing here is taking advantage of the way that Magic Missile works. So for those of you that don't know how Magic Missile works, you basically create 3 darts that you don't have to roll to hit on. They automatically hit. So with that, on all of the turns, we are going to take one of those darts and target our friend. Ideally, they're a rogue, because a rogue is able to get sneak attack off turn at that point. So their DPR is going to go way up. You're going to be able to absorb that rogue DPR calculation into yours. And then you got 2 other darts to send at enemies out there. You're going to be a cleric, so you're going to main full caster spell slot progression, which means you're going to be able to throw this out a whole bunch. You'll be able to upcast it, which means more darts. Again, 1 to your rogue friend or paladin friend. Paladin's also a really good one. They can smite off turn, assuming you're not using the 2024 version, but let's assume that we're rocking the 2015 version. Your main targets for this are going to be a rogue friend that is going to be able to get their sneak attack, a paladin, and then anyone else who has like a high damage magic weapon. So, like a barbarian with flame tongue that can, recklessly attack with great weapon master, that kind of a thing. You want to find someone who can do a lot of damage with one single weapon attack. And then you're just going to be throwing out magic missiles all around. If you ever get into a situation where you need to cast Healing Word, well, you can cast Healing Word, bring that person back from the dead. They can make a melee attack from standing up from the dead. And then for your action, you can cast Firebolt or Toll the Dead or, whatever other cantrip you have picked that is going to be your main damage dealing cantrip. You can open fights up with Bless. Bless your team. One of them gets to do an attack. You have now done damage on the opening round where you would normally just be casting Bless. That's kind of the whole shtick of it. It works all the way up to level 20. Some kind of highlights that you're going to be grabbing is once you get access to 3rd level spells, your first turn you're going to cast Spirit Guardians. Spirit Guardians, if memory serves, is a 10-minute spell, so you can actually pre-cast it. Go into battle, you're going to be creating this aura of 1 damage and difficult terrain for enemies to come to you while magic missiling them and getting your rogue to sneak attack on top of that. That's a really nice spot to be. So this is good for like a level 6 one-shot if you want to be doing that kind of stuff. That's a good one. And then as you get higher, you're just going to get more and more into the fun cleric-y stuff. And then you also have, all the other fun things of cleric stuff, right? You're going to have all of the channel divinities that you would normally get. You have all of the first level abilities that you got from whatever sorcerer you pick. You're going to have whatever racial thing you want because it doesn't matter what race you pick. This is a super, super flexible build that is going to be, like I said, kind of gimmicky. It's good for a one-shot. I think that it would get really tedious to do in a long-term campaign, but I think that if you have a buddy that's on board to get attacked on your turn every turn for 1d4 plus 1 damage, I think that you can get some really cool stuff going on. It's a little bit ridiculous, and I think it's a lot of fun. What other kind of rules as written builds do you know of that are also a little bit wonky like this? If you can go ahead and give me like a rough rundown of it, maybe it'll make it into another video. Other than that, like I said, come join the Discord. I'm really looking forward to kind of talking to you guys. I have a couple of other bigger videos planned for July. I realize I was a little absent in June, but we'll get back on that horse and make some cool stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.